Imagine for a moment that you hold in your hands the most powerful tool in the world. No, it's not money and it's not technology. It's your mind. Right now, in this very moment, you are the master of the most potent force in the universe, your thoughts. But here's the catch: this power is like a fire. It can either warm your home and give you comfort, or it can destroy everything you've worked for. The choice is yours. What you think about, day in and day out, is shaping your future. I want you to take a deep breath and realize this truth. You are exactly where you are today because of the thoughts you've chosen to think. Now, if you're still with me, let me ask you this. Are you ready to change your life? Or would you rather sit back, let the world pass you by, and continue to live in the shadows of possibility? Every day, the world presents opportunities. Every hour, you have a chance to take a step forward or a step back. The difference between success and failure is simple. It's the decision to do something, to act on those thoughts, and to refuse to accept mediocrity. But let's be clear, success doesn't come by accident. It comes through purpose, discipline, and commitment. Every moment of your life is an opportunity to decide who you are and who you are going to become. But too often, people are not aware of the power they hold in their hands, in their minds, in their thoughts. You see, most people walk through life as if they are merely observers, as if their destiny is something dictated by external forces. But that's the lie. The truth is, you have the ultimate power to shape your life, and it starts with how you think. Think for a moment about your day. How much of it is spent on things that move you toward your goals, your dreams, and your highest potential? And how much of it is wasted on distractions, negative thoughts, or simply letting the hours slip by? Here is a fundamental truth: your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. Everything you do, everything you achieve, and everything you fail to achieve is a direct result of your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Imagine if you could harness the power of your mind and direct it with intention, purpose, and focus. What would you achieve? The answer lies within you. The moment you decide to take control of your thoughts, you will unlock a power that can move mountains. The simple, unspoken truth is that you are the sum of your thoughts. If you fill your mind with thoughts of possibility, ambition, and action, that's exactly what your life will become. Look at the successful people around you. Those who seem to always have what they want, those who are consistently achieving their goals. What is the difference between them and those who struggle or remain stuck? It isn't luck. It isn't a special set of circumstances. The difference is what they think about, how they think, and how they choose to act on those thoughts. Success doesn't come by waiting for it to show up at your doorstep. It comes from deciding that you will create it, that you will make it happen, and then backing that decision up with action. But here's the catch. Success is not a single act or a stroke of luck. It's a process. It's about committing to the long journey. It's about showing up every single day, making choices, and taking steps, no matter how small they may seem, toward the vision you have for your life. The problem is most people wait. They wait for things to change. They wait for a better time. They wait for permission. But the people who succeed are those who don't wait. They act. They make their own opportunities. What you must understand is that the world doesn't owe you success. The universe doesn't hand you anything on a silver platter. You are not entitled to success because you breathe the air or exist in this world. Success is earned. It is earned through hard work, resilience, and the constant pursuit of your goals, regardless of the obstacles in your way. It is earned through a relentless focus on your dreams, and it is earned through the power of your thoughts. The real question you need to ask yourself is this: what are you willing to do with the power of your mind? If you continue to focus on what's wrong, on what's holding you back, or on why things aren't going the way you want, then that is what your life will reflect. But if you choose to focus on possibility, on solutions, and on the things that move you forward, you will begin to see your life change in ways you can't even imagine right now. The truth is, you are already successful in some area of your life, whether it's your relationships, your work, or a personal project. Why? Because you've been thinking about it. You've been putting time and energy into it. You've been imagining what it would be like, and you've acted on those thoughts. The only difference between that success and your other dreams is the amount of focus, energy, and belief you're putting into them. If you're not getting the results you want in one area of your life, it's not because you're not capable. It's because your thoughts are not aligned with your goals. You might be unconsciously sabotaging yourself. Maybe you're thinking that you'll never get there, or that it's too hard, or that it's not meant to be. When you think like that, you're reinforcing that belief, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you shift your focus, change your thinking, and develop a mindset of success, you will begin to notice things happening around you that align with your desires. Opportunities you never saw before will begin to appear, and your path will seem clearer. You can change your life, and it begins with this simple truth. You have the power to choose your thoughts. And when you take responsibility for those thoughts, when you decide that you will no longer be a passive observer of your life, but an active participant in creating the reality you desire, your life will begin to transform. Success is not about waiting for someone else to change your circumstances. It's about changing the way you think, and as a result, changing the way you act. It's about understanding that your thoughts create your reality, and when you consistently think and act with purpose, you will begin to live the life you've always dreamed of. The power is within you. All you have to do is believe it, and start today. The most powerful force in your life right now is the force of your thoughts. You may not realize it, but every thought you think is shaping your future. The direction of your life, the opportunities you encounter, the relationships you form, and even the way you perceive the world. All of it is a direct result of the thoughts that occupy your mind. There's no escaping it. What you think, you become. What you focus on, you manifest. Every individual, regardless of their background, their circumstances, or their starting point in life, has one thing in common: the ability to think. And in that ability lies the greatest potential known to humankind. It's easy to believe that success is something external, something you have to work hard to earn. But in reality, success begins from within. It begins with the thoughts that you allow to enter your mind and the beliefs you choose to hold on to. If you think of yourself as a failure, as incapable, as unworthy of success, then that's the person you will become. Your thoughts, unchallenged, will dictate your actions, or lack thereof, and in turn your life. On the other hand, if you choose to think of yourself as someone capable of great achievement, if you choose to believe that the world is full of opportunities just waiting for you to seize them, your life will reflect that. The key is simple. Your mind is your most powerful tool, and it will work for you or against you, depending on how you choose to use it. One of the most crucial things to understand is that you have control over your thoughts. Yes, there are external factors in your life that you cannot control, but your mind is yours. What you think about, what you focus on, and what you choose to believe will determine the course of your life. And while it may not always be easy to change your mindset, especially when the world around you is filled with negativity or distractions, it is possible, and it is necessary. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and worry, those are the things that will flourish. But if you plant seeds of confidence, belief, and determination, those will grow as well. The question is, what kind of garden are you cultivating in your mind? Are you growing a garden of negativity, filled with thoughts of, I can't, it's too hard, or I'll never make it? Or are you cultivating a garden of possibility, filled with thoughts of, I can, I am capable, and I will do whatever it takes? You must also realize that the quality of your thoughts directly impacts the quality of your actions. If you're constantly telling yourself that you'll never succeed, that you're not good enough, or that the world is against you, you'll act in ways that reinforce those beliefs. Your actions will be hesitant, lack confidence, and will rarely lead to success. But if you change the way you think, if you begin to believe that you are worthy of success, that you have what it takes to make your dreams a reality, your actions will reflect that. You will take bold steps, you will push through obstacles, and you will continue to move forward, even when things get tough. This is where the power of belief comes into play. Belief is the starting point for all success. It's the foundation on which everything else is built. If you believe in yourself and your ability to succeed, you'll find ways to overcome the challenges that come your way. If you believe that you are capable of achieving your dreams, you'll act accordingly. But if you don't believe in yourself, if you think that success is something reserved for others, or if you're waiting for someone to hand it to you, you will continue to stay stuck in the same place. Think about the people in your life who have achieved extraordinary things. What sets them apart from those who haven't achieved the same success? They made a decision to believe in themselves no matter what. They made a decision to think differently, to act differently, and to refuse to accept anything less than success. And because they made that decision, they took the necessary actions to make their dreams a reality. The truth is, success doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. Now, you may be thinking, but I don't know if I can do it. What if I fail? And that's the most natural question in the world. Everyone has faced that fear at one point or another. The key, though, is understanding that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is simply a part of the process. It's not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. Every successful person has failed at some point. In fact, they've failed many times. But the difference between them and those who don't succeed is that they didn't let failure stop them. They didn't let it define them. Instead, they used it as fuel to push harder, to learn, to grow, and to keep going. So let's get back to the original idea, your thoughts. They are the foundation upon which everything else is built. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing the way you think. Start by believing that success is within your reach. Start by thinking in terms of I can't instead of I can't. Start by seeing obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow. Start by committing to the idea that your future is yours to create, and it begins with your thoughts. Remember, the mind is your greatest ally. It will either push you toward your dreams or hold you back, depending on how you choose to use it. The power is in your hands. There is a simple, undeniable truth about life that many people overlook. Success is not something that happens to you. It's something that you must create. This is where most people fail to understand the secret to achieving their dreams. They wait. They wait for the right moment, for the right opportunity, or for the right conditions. But here's the thing, the right moment will never come unless you create it. Opportunities do not simply fall into your lap. You have to go out and seize them. Success is not about waiting for life to hand you something. It's about making the decision to act and then doing it consistently, regardless of the circumstances around you. We've all heard the stories of people who started with nothing, who were told they would never amount to anything, and who faced countless obstacles along the way. Yet, somehow they achieved greatness. They weren't special. They didn't have some magic key that was denied to everyone else. What they had was the willingness to take action. They didn't wait for life to give them permission. They didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They simply took action, one step at a time, toward their goal. And the key to this is understanding that action breeds results. Too many people fall into the trap of overthinking, of worrying about whether they are doing the right thing or whether they will succeed. They get caught up in the idea that they must have all the answers, all the knowledge, and all the skills before they take action. But the truth is, no one ever has everything figured out from the start. The most successful people aren't the ones who know everything. They're the ones who start, even when they don't have all the answers, and learn along the way. This is where the concept of progressive action comes in. Success doesn't require you to take huge leaps from day one. What it requires is consistent, steady movement in the right direction. It's not about taking the perfect step every time. It's about taking a step, and then taking another one, and then another. And before you know it, you've made progress. Small actions, taken consistently over time, compound into big results. But this only happens when you commit to taking that first step, and then continue to move forward, no matter how small the progress may seem. If you find yourself stuck, if you find yourself hesitating or doubting your ability to move forward, ask yourself, what would happen if I just took one step? One small action in the direction of your goal will create momentum. And that momentum is what will carry you forward, even when things seem difficult or uncertain. The key is to get started, even if you don't feel completely ready, even if the path ahead is unclear. You don't have to have everything figured out before you begin. You just have to start. Think of it this way: every great achievement, every success story begins with a decision, and that decision is to take action. The decision to act is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who don't. It's what separates those who succeed from those who fail. People who succeed in life don't wait for the world to tell them it's their time. They make it their time. They don't wait for someone to give them permission to go after their dreams. They take it. They do what needs to be done, regardless of the obstacles, the uncertainties, or the challenges they face. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is something that happens overnight, that it's something that is given to a select few. But the truth is that success is available to anyone who is willing to take action. It's available to those who refuse to sit back and wait for things to change. It's available to those who are willing to make the decision to act, even when it's hard, even when the path is unclear, and even when they don't know what the future holds. This is where many people go wrong. They think they need a perfect plan, a perfect situation, or a perfect moment to start. But the truth is, there is no such thing as a perfect plan, a perfect situation, or a perfect moment. There will always be challenges, there will always be doubts, and there will always be obstacles. But the key to success is not in waiting for those obstacles to disappear. The key to success is in learning how to move forward despite them. If you want to achieve anything in life, you must make the decision to act. You must make the decision to stop waiting for things to change and start making them change. You must take ownership of your dreams and then take the necessary steps to bring them to life. It is not the big, dramatic actions that make the difference. It is the small, consistent actions that, over time, lead to great results. And those actions must be taken every single day, no matter what. When you take action, you not only move closer to your goals, but you also begin to change your mindset. You begin to shift from a mindset of waiting, wondering, and hoping to a mindset of creating, doing, and achieving. And once you make that shift, you'll find that success isn't something that happens to you. Success is something you create, one action at a time. And once you realize that, the possibilities for your future become limitless. So, let me ask you, what are you waiting for? The time is now. The opportunities are there. All you have to do is take that first step and then keep moving forward. The reality is, most people do not reach their full potential not because they lack the ability or the resources, but because they are paralyzed by fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of criticism, and fear of rejection. Fear, in all its forms, is the silent killer of dreams. It's the thing that keeps people stuck in mediocrity. It's the reason why so many give up before they even begin, or why they quit right before the breakthrough happens. But what if you could change your relationship with fear? What if instead of letting fear control you, you decided to use it as fuel for your success? It's important to understand that fear is a natural part of life. Every successful person, every person who has ever achieved something great, has faced fear. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that one group is fearless, but rather that one group chooses to face their fear and move forward anyway. Fear is simply a signal that you are about to step outside your comfort zone, that you are about to do something that requires growth. And growth is the very essence of success. You see, success is not about avoiding fear, it's about embracing it. Every time you face a fear and push through it, you grow stronger. Every time you take a step despite the fear, you build resilience and confidence. Fear only has the power that you give it. The more you let fear dictate your actions, the more control it has over you. But if you decide that you are not going to let fear stop you, if you decide that you are going to act in spite of it, then fear loses its grip. And what you're left with is the power to create the life you desire. The key to overcoming fear is not to wait for it to go away, but to take action in the presence of it. Think about the most successful people you know. They are not without fear, but they have learned to act anyway. They've learned to make fear their ally, to use it as a signal that they are on the verge of something important. When they feel fear, they don't let it stop them. Instead, they move forward, and in doing so, they break through barriers and reach new levels of achievement. It's also important to recognize that fear is often irrational. Most of the things we fear never actually happen. We fear failure, but what we often fail to realize is that failure is not the end. Failure is simply a lesson a lesson that shows us what doesn't work so we can try something different. Fear of failure paralyzes many people, but the truth is that failure is just part of the journey. It's through our failures that we learn, grow, and ultimately succeed. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid failure, but the ones who learn from it, adjust, and keep going. Fear of rejection is another common barrier that prevents people from taking action. We fear what others will think of us, whether they will approve of our decisions, or whether they will laugh at our dreams. But here's the truth: rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply a reflection of someone else's perspective. You cannot control how others feel about you, but you can control how you feel about yourself. When you stop fearing rejection and stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself to pursue your dreams without the weight of other people's opinions. One of the most powerful things you can do is to reframe fear in your mind. Instead of seeing it as a negative force, see it as an indicator that you are stepping into new territory. Fear is a signal that you are challenging yourself, that you are growing. And growth, as uncomfortable as it may be, is essential for success. When you understand that fear is simply a part of the process, you will be less likely to let it stop you. You will learn to take it in stride and use it as a springboard for your next action. The most successful people are not the ones who never experience fear, but the ones who understand that fear is not the enemy. Fear is the catalyst for growth. Fear is the teacher that shows us what we're capable of when we push through it. The truth is, you will never reach your full potential if you continue to let fear dictate your actions. If you wait for fear to go away before you take action, you will never act. But if you choose to act in the face of fear, you will start to see results that you never thought possible. Remember, fear is a choice. You can choose to let it control you, or you can choose to face it head on and use it as a tool for growth. You can choose to let fear hold you back, or you can choose to push forward, knowing that the only way to get to where you want to be is to take action despite the fear. Every great achievement in life comes from someone who was willing to step into the unknown, to act despite their fear, and to keep moving forward even when things felt uncertain. The fear that you feel is not something to be avoided or ignored. It is something to be embraced and conquered. And every time you conquer it, you will find yourself one step closer to the life you desire. So, the next time fear tries to hold you back, remember this: fear is not the enemy. It's your greatest ally on the road to success. And as long as you keep moving forward, you will always be on the right path. The reality of success is simple, yet profound. It is built on the foundation of your habits. Every day, you are either moving toward your goals or away from them based on the actions you take. Your habits, whether good or bad, shape the course of your life in ways you may not fully understand. If you want to change your life, the first step is to examine the habits you have cultivated, and then ask yourself, are these habits supporting my dreams, or are they keeping me stuck? Most people go through life on autopilot, repeating the same behaviors day after day without ever questioning why they do them. These actions become ingrained, and before long, they determine the trajectory of our lives. But the secret to transforming your life lies in understanding that success is not an event, it is a process. It's not about making one big move or having one big breakthrough. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day that add up to extraordinary results. Let's break it down. Consider the habits you have now. What do you do first thing in the morning? What are the first thoughts that cross your mind when you wake up? Do you spend your time scrolling through social media or checking emails? Or do you focus on something that aligns with your long-term goals? The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you begin your day with intention, focusing on the things that matter most, you are more likely to continue taking purposeful actions throughout the day. But if you start your day distracted, overwhelmed, or unfocused, the rest of your day will follow suit. The habits you form early on don't just affect your mornings, they ripple through every area of your life. If you want to be successful, you must create habits that are aligned with your goals. Success doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. The choices you make every day, the habits you form, will either bring you closer to your dreams or push them further away. The key to changing your life is to start making those small changes now, in the way you think, in the way you act, and in the way you approach your goals. One of the most powerful things you can do is to consciously decide what habits you want to build. You see, habits are the compound interest of personal development. Just as small investments, when made consistently over time, can lead to wealth, small positive actions, repeated daily, will lead to success. Every day you choose to take positive action, to focus on growth, to build your skills, you are making an investment in your future. The key is consistency. No habit will change overnight, and no goal is achieved in a single moment. It's the consistent daily actions that will move you toward your goals, no matter how far off they may seem. But let's be honest, building good habits is not always easy. It takes discipline, focus, and most importantly, it takes persistence. You will face obstacles. There will be days when you don't feel like putting in the work. There will be times when you're tired or when things aren't going the way you want them to. But that's the point. The ability to persist in the face of adversity is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Those who are willing to keep going, even when things get tough, are the ones who ultimately achieve their dreams. And the only way to keep going when things get tough is by making success a habit. It's about creating an unwavering commitment to your goals, no matter what. The most successful people understand this principle. They understand that their success is a result of the habits they've built over time. They don't rely on motivation alone to get things done. Motivation comes and goes, but habits remain. When motivation fades, good habits take over and carry you through. This is why successful people don't just focus on the outcome. They focus on the process. They understand that if they consistently engage in productive habits, the results will follow. The secret to success is not in chasing after the outcome, but in making the process of growth and achievement a part of your daily life. If you're not where you want to be right now, it's time to take a hard look at your habits. Are you spending your time on things that will help you grow? Are you taking consistent action toward your goals, or are you waiting for things to change on their own? If you're not where you want to be, it's not because you're not capable or because the world is holding you back. It's because you've built habits that are not aligned with your goals. The good news is that it's never too late to change. Every day is a new opportunity to choose the habits that will lead you to success. Start by asking yourself, what habits do I need to build in order to get closer to my dreams? Is it waking up earlier to work on your personal development? Is it exercising regularly to increase your energy and productivity? Is it setting aside time each day to focus on your most important goals? No matter how small the change, the key is to start now. Success doesn't happen by waiting for the perfect moment or for the right circumstances. It happens by deciding right now that you will take consistent action every single day to move closer to the life you desire. The most important thing to remember is that success is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making small improvements every day. Every habit you form is a step toward your ultimate goal. Whether you realize it or not, the habits you form today are shaping the person you will be tomorrow. So ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? And then, make the decision to take consistent, daily actions that will get you there. The power to transform your life lies in the habits you choose to build. The question is, will you choose wisely? When you stand at the edge of your dreams, the hardest part is often taking that first step. But what if I told you that this very first step, the one that may feel uncertain, uncomfortable, and intimidating, is the most important step you will ever take? The world around you is full of distractions, doubts, and people telling you what you can or cannot do. But the only voice that truly matters is the one inside of you, the one that says, I can do this. Too many people let their fears, their doubts, and their insecurities dictate their lives. They wait for the perfect moment, the right time, the ideal circumstances, and then, as time passes, they realize that the perfect moment never comes. The right time never arrives, and the ideal circumstances are always just out of reach. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time to start. The only time you have is now. If you want to achieve anything in life, you must take action. And I'm not talking about making grand, sweeping gestures. I'm talking about taking the small, consistent steps that, over time, will lead you to your goals. It's the small actions, repeated every day, that create the momentum needed to achieve success. It's the decision to move forward, No matter how small the step, that will eventually carry you to where you want to be. But here's where most people go wrong. They think they need to have everything figured out before they start. They think they need to know exactly what the end result will look like, how it will happen, and when it will happen. But the reality is no one ever knows the exact path to success. No one ever has all the answers from the start. The key is to start anyway. You learn along the way, you adjust, you adapt, you keep going. Starting is often the hardest part because it requires faith. Faith that the effort you put in today will pay off in the future. Faith that your actions, no matter how small, will eventually lead you to where you want to go. And that's where belief comes in. Belief is the foundation upon which success is built. If you don't believe you can achieve your goals, you will never take the first step. But when you believe in yourself, when you believe that you are capable, you will take that first step, no matter how uncertain it may feel. The reason most people don't take action is because they are afraid of making mistakes. They fear failure, they fear judgment, and they fear that their efforts will be wasted. But failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. Every successful person has encountered failure along the way. What separates them from those who give up is their ability to keep going in the face of failure. They understand that failure is not permanent, it's just a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to success. When you take action, you are giving yourself permission to learn, to grow, and to adjust. You may not get everything right at first, but with each step, you'll become better, stronger, and more confident in your ability to succeed. The key is not to let fear stop you, but to use it as motivation to move forward. Fear is a signal that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where growth happens. People often wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They believe that if they don't feel motivated, they won't be able to accomplish anything. But motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes. The truth is, action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you take action, even the smallest action, it creates momentum, and that momentum fuels your motivation to keep going. If you wait for motivation to appear before you act, you may wait forever. But if you take action, you'll find that motivation follows. So, if you're standing on the edge of your dreams, wondering whether you should take that first step, know that the time is now. There is no perfect moment, no perfect plan, and no perfect set of circumstances. There is only the decision to move forward. You may not know exactly how things will unfold, but if you take that first step, you will find the way. You will learn what works and what doesn't. You will discover your strengths, and you will overcome the obstacles that lie ahead. But the key is to start. Without that first step, you are simply standing still. It's easy to get caught up in the fear of the unknown, to wonder what will happen if things don't go as planned. But here's the truth. The only way to fail is by not trying at all. The only way to guarantee that your dreams will remain just that, dreams, is by refusing to take that first step. Success is not reserved for the lucky few. It is available to anyone who is willing to take that first step and keep going. So, don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until everything is aligned perfectly. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now. Take that first step. Move toward your dreams and the rest will follow. The only thing standing between you and your success is the decision to start. And once you do, you will find that there is no limit to what you can achieve. The journey may not always be easy, but every step you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. So, what are you waiting for? The time to start is now. As you stand at the threshold of your dreams, remember that the path to success is not defined by grand moments, but by the small, consistent actions you take each day. It's easy to look at the obstacles in front of you and feel overwhelmed by the uncertainty of the journey. But the truth is, the only thing that can stop you is your own decision to not move forward. Every successful person you admire didn't reach their destination by waiting for the perfect moment or by avoiding fear. They reached it by choosing to take action, to build habits that aligned with their goals, and to keep pushing forward despite the challenges. Success begins with a choice, the choice to believe in yourself, to take that first step, and to refuse to settle for anything less than what you're capable of achieving. The world doesn't owe you success, and no one will hand it to you. But if you are willing to commit to your own growth, to your own future, and to your own actions, success will follow. Understand this: your thoughts, actions, and habits are the building blocks of your future. If you want to change your life, you must change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you approach every day. The journey will not always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments of failure, and moments when you question whether it's worth it. But these moments are not setbacks. They are opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. So, I ask you now, what is the life you want to create? What kind of person do you want to be? The answer is in your hands. It is within your power to take control of your future. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to the person you are meant to become. It's time to stop waiting. The time to act is now. Build your habits, embrace your fears, take consistent action, and create the life you've always dreamed of. Success is not a distant dream. It is the result of every thought, decision, and action you make today. So go forward with confidence, with purpose, and with the unwavering belief that you are capable of achieving greatness. The world is waiting for you to step into your potential. The time is now.